Today is July 10th, 2025. A seemingly ordinary day, but one that will soon be etched in the annals of political history. A story is sending shockwaves through global politics, a story so explosive it threatens to redefine international relations as we know them. The world is watching with bated breath. At the heart of this turmoil is newly leaked audio from a 2024 Trump fundraiser, a recording that captures the former president in a candid, and some would say reckless moment. In the recording, former President Donald Trump claims he threatened to bomb Moscow and Beijing, a statement so audacious, so provocative, it has sent diplomats scrambling and analysts working overtime. He allegedly stated he would take such drastic action if Russia invaded Ukraine or China moved on Taiwan. These are not hypothetical scenarios, they are real-world tensions that hang by a thread. These are not offhand remarks, not casual banter meant for a small audience. They're detailed accounts of direct ultimatums to two of the world's most powerful leaders. Ultimatums that, if true, could have irrevocably altered the course of history. The implications are staggering, the implications are enormous, rippling outwards like a stone thrown into a still pond, raising questions about diplomacy, presidential power, and the risks of high-stakes rhetoric. Has the line between strong leadership and reckless endangerment been blurred? The audio's release has ignited fierce debate in Washington, with politicians and pundits alike weighing in on the potential ramifications. Moscow and Beijing are undoubtedly formulating their responses, carefully calibrating their next moves on the global chessboard. Each capital spinning its own narrative, attempting to control the narrative and shape public opinion in their favor. We'll break down what Trump said, dissecting his words and analyzing the context in which they were spoken. How Russia and China are responding, examining their official statements and reading between the lines to understand their true sentiments. And what this means for U.S. foreign policy. Will this audio embolden or constrain future administrations? The timing is critical, as the world teeters on the brink of several potential conflicts. As the political landscape shifts, both domestically and internationally, and Trump remains a central figure, his words carrying immense weight even out of office. Fundraisers like this are usually private, offering a glimpse into the unvarnished thoughts of powerful individuals. But this leak offers a rare, unfiltered look, a peek behind the curtain of power, at the mindset behind closed doors, revealing the strategies and calculations that shape global events. The world is now grappling with the fallout, trying to make sense of these extraordinary revelations. As the story reshapes conversations about global leadership and security, the stakes have never been higher. This analysis will cut through the noise, providing clarity in a world of misinformation, examining the facts and the stakes, separating truth from speculation. The shockwaves are real and their impact will be felt for years to come, and the consequences could be profound, potentially reshaping the global order. At the heart of the controversy, igniting a firestorm of debate across the globe, are Trump's own words, spoken not on a formal stage, but in the more intimate setting of private gatherings. These weren't off-the-cuff remarks during a press conference, but seemingly calculated statements made behind closed doors, captured on tape. The existence of these recordings adds another layer of complexity, moving beyond mere hearsay to documented pronouncements. The clarity and audibility of the recordings are now under intense scrutiny. According to CNN, who first broke the story, Trump told donors at a private fundraiser that he issued a stark warning to Vladimir Putin. A warning that, if true, represents a significant departure from traditional diplomatic language. If you go into Ukraine, I'm going to bomb the sh*T out of Moscow. A blunt, unambiguous threat, delivered with the intention, according to Trump, of preventing a full-scale invasion. The implications of such a statement are far-reaching, potentially altering the calculus of international relations. He claimed even a 10% chance Putin believed him, a mere sliver of doubt planted in the Russian leader's mind, was enough to deter an invasion. A high-stakes gamble, predicated on the perception of Trump's own unpredictability. Whether this strategy was effective, or merely a coincidence preceding Russia's actions, remains a subject of intense debate. Trump also described a similar threat, mirroring the one made to Putin, to China's Xi Jinping, suggesting that should China dare to invade Taiwan, a move long feared by Western powers, Beijing itself would be bombed. A drastic escalation, carrying unimaginable consequences. "Xi thought I was crazy," Trump said, recounting the alleged reaction of the Chinese president to his stark warning, presenting unpredictability not as a flaw, but as a strategic advantage, a tool to keep adversaries guessing and potentially deterring aggression. These statements are a radical break from diplomatic norms, a complete rewriting of the rules of engagement on the international stage. Publicly threatening nuclear-armed rivals with direct military action, specifically bombing their capitals, is almost unheard of, a taboo typically avoided even in the most tense geopolitical climates. The audio, obtained by journalists working on a forthcoming book promising explosive revelations, was recorded at private fundraisers, exclusive gatherings where Trump often played to his base, testing the boundaries of acceptable political discourse. The leak forces a public reckoning, demanding a global conversation about the line between strategic assertiveness and dangerous rhetoric. Is this tough negotiation a calculated risk designed to achieve a specific outcome, or reckless endangerment, a gamble with the potential to trigger a global catastrophe? Allies and experts are alarmed, struggling to reconcile these statements with established diplomatic protocols and international law, questioning the stability and predictability of U.S. leadership and its commitment to long-standing alliances and international agreements. Trump's supporters see it as proof of strength, a demonstration of unwavering resolve in the face of global threats. Critics call it a dangerous gamble, a reckless disregard for the delicate balance of power in a nuclear-armed world. The world is left to weigh the risks of this approach, assessing the potential consequences of such unconventional diplomacy. The debate is now global, dominating headlines and sparking discussions among world leaders and citizens alike. And the stakes couldn't be higher as the world grapples with the implications of these extraordinary claims. Moscow's response was swift and skeptical. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov dismissed Trump's story, citing timeline inconsistencies and denying any such conversation took place. Peskov refused to confirm or deny the audio's authenticity, instead raising the specter of digital manipulation. There's a lot of fake news these days, he said, even suggesting the audio could be AI-generated. This tactic muddies the waters, casting doubt without directly engaging the substance of Trump's threat. By invoking deepfakes, the Kremlin taps into global anxieties about digital forgeries, the result strategic ambiguity, leaving the world questioning what's real. Moscow sidesteps confrontation, while the international community debates the truth. The Kremlin's playbook: deflect, deny, and let uncertainty reign. China's reaction was silence and censorship. On Chinese social media, news of Trump's threat to Moscow spread rapidly, but any mention of a threat to Beijing was scrubbed. The government's strategy: control the narrative, avoid embarrassment, and prevent nationalist backlash. Officially, Chinese spokespeople feigned ignorance, refusing to comment. By ignoring the story, Beijing avoids escalation and keeps domestic stability. The contrast is telling. Russia debates, China erases. This selective censorship reveals how seriously China takes threats to its own capital. The world is left guessing at Beijing's true assessment. In the wake of the leaked audio, the White House and key Trump allies have launched a strategic counter-narrative. They are actively working to reframe the situation, turning what some might perceive as a vulnerability into a perceived strength. They have gone on the offensive, employing a multi-pronged approach that includes carefully crafted statements, media appearances, and targeted social media campaigns. The core of their defense rests on framing the leaked audio as proof of a successful peace-through-strength doctrine, a strategy they claim deterred aggression and maintained global stability during Trump's presidency. As White House spokesperson Anna Kelly declared in a recent press briefing, Russia never dared invade Ukraine when Trump was in office. This is not a coincidence but a direct result of President Trump's unwavering resolve and clear communication of consequences. The central argument being presented is that Trump's tough talk and assertive foreign policy kept adversaries in check, preventing them from taking actions that would destabilize the international order. Furthermore, they contend that his unconventional style, while often criticized, ultimately restored American leadership on the world stage, projecting an image of strength and decisiveness. Supporters point to the timeline, a simple yet powerful visual aid. During Trump's time in office, there was no full-scale invasion of Ukraine. However, a full-scale war erupted after he left office, a point they emphasize repeatedly. This sequence of events is presented as irrefutable evidence that his methods, however unorthodox, were effective in maintaining peace and stability. Critics, however, see recklessness and potential danger in such an approach, but his base sees tangible results, a world seemingly more stable under his leadership. To further reinforce the narrative, the administration highlights recent pledges of military aid to Ukraine, showcasing a commitment to supporting the country's defense, and Trump's past public displays of frustration with Putin. All of this is carefully orchestrated to reinforce the narrative of strength and effectiveness. The underlying message is clear: outcomes matter more than process, and a strong leader is willing to take unconventional steps to achieve desired results. For Trump's team, the leaked audio is not a liability to be downplayed or apologized for. It's a badge of strength, a testament to his willingness to do what others wouldn't to protect American interests. For Trump's supporters, the leaked audio is a validation, not a scandal. They see his threats as proof of decisive leadership in a dangerous world. Conventional diplomacy is dismissed as weak. Only strength deters adversaries. The madman theory, making rivals think he's unpredictable, becomes a strategic asset. The fact that Russia didn't invade Ukraine during Trump's term is central to their argument. Conservative media and rallies amplify this message, reinforcing Trump's image as the only leader willing to act boldly. Criticism from experts and the media only deepens their conviction. For the base, Trump's bluntness is exactly what America needs. The fundraiser audio reveals more than foreign policy bravado. It's a window into Trump's political strategy. He boasts about convincing a donor to give $25 million, highlighting the transactional nature of these events. Trump promises to set back student protest movements by decades, tapping into cultural anxieties. He divides voters into immovable blocks, dismissing welfare people as lost to Democrats. The audio shows Trump tailoring his message to donors, blending threats abroad with promises of domestic crackdowns. It's political theater strength, control, and confrontation, all for an audience of wealthy backers. The threats to Moscow and Beijing are just part of a broader narrative. Behind closed doors, Trump crafts a story of dominance on every front. The authenticity of the audio is now a central issue. In an age of deepfakes, verifying leaked recordings is harder than ever. The Kremlin's suggestion that the audio could be AI-generated exploits this uncertainty. Journalists who obtained the tape are reputable, and major outlets have vetted the material. Still, the secretive nature of the recording leaves room for doubt. Belief in its authenticity often splits along political lines. The liar's dividend, the ability to deny real events by invoking fakes, complicates public trust. The battle over what's real is as fierce as the political fight itself. This leaked audio matters because it crystallizes the debate over Trump's leadership strategic genius or reckless risk-taker. The recording exists. What's disputed is its authenticity and whether the threats were ever delivered. Russia denies, China censors, and the US is divided. The story forces a reckoning with the power and peril of presidential rhetoric in a volatile world. The audio also exposes the raw, polarizing strategy behind closed-door fundraising. These aren't isolated remarks. They're part of a broader political identity built on confrontation and division. The questions raised about truth, leadership, and the risks of modern politics will echo long after the headlines fade. The world is watching, and the stakes are real.